Yeah, I can feel it in my left shoulder.
Nick Bennett has come to call the Rowdebush Veterans Administration Medical Center in Indianapolis a second home.
You take it easy, and good work over there.
Thank you, sir.
He's there every week for rehab. With the machines, the therapists, and an unflinching will, Nick is trying to become whole again.
You know, I shouldn't be here right now. I should have died that day.
That day was November 11th, 2004, Veterans Day. Nick had been stationed at a camp south of Baghdad for just 2 months when he heard the rocket come in.
It hit about 10 to 15 yards off my left shoulder, and I heard it coming in with mortars. They kind of thump before they launch. With rockets, they whistle, and I heard the whistle and knew I wasn't coming home.
The rocket that came over the wall of Nick's compound landed but didn't explode. The sheer force of the impact, though, was devastating.
Part of the warhead took off the back part of my right leg and took the door of the Humvee and threw it 25, 30 yards down the way. They think it's on top of a building. They never did find it. Took the actual shell casing in my right shoulder, put shrapnel in my side and my left arm, and then when I got spun around, tore off the whole back of my hand. Remember getting put in an ambulance. Remember the helicopter ride up to Baghdad. And then that's where I told him to call my wife.
He landed for a short time in a hospital in Germany, then at the National Naval Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland. He spent 2 months there. During that time, he had 18 separate surgeries. Nick doesn't remember much.
I mean, there's pictures where it looks like I'm awake, but, you know, I don't remember my wife and kids being there when I got my Purple Heart. I mean, we met the president, and I really don't remember what we talked about.
He was finally able to walk, finally able to come home. It had been a long 2 months.
Yeah, there was many times in the hospital where I'd just cry because I was tired of being sick. I just wanted my kids.
With such serious injuries, what does the future hold for Nick Bennett? It's a story with an uncertain ending. He's writing it here at the VA Medical Center.
Right now what I'm doing is applying electrodes of it. This is a neuromuscular stimulation machine.
Occupational therapist Candy Dooley uses those electrodes to stimulate the muscles in Nick's injured arm. It didn't take Candy long to see how hard Nick would work at getting better.
He's a very motivated young man, and he has children to take care of, and I just think he's stubborn, which really helps him a lot.
Some pain comes with it, yeah.
Physical therapist Scott Paw sees Nick's determination too. Getting well is sometimes painful.
Wow.
During this therapy session in March, Scott wants to help Nick's shoulder become more flexible.
Wow.
You feel that under your arm?
No, on top
In
of my
the top?
shoulder.
You feel that?
Oh, yeah.
But the pain is paying off. Several therapy sessions later, Nick's shoulder has improved.
And then do the one for me where I can see if you can touch your arm. That's excellent. Okay. Yeah. Good. That's excellent.
We'll see you Thursday.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nick has more surgeries ahead and possibly more therapy. He doesn't know just how well his hand will work again. He says he's living day to day.
You know, I don't think about playing basketball, you know, down the road or softball or anything else. It's just, let's get through today, you know, let's get to where I need to be. And, you know, the future will take care of itself.
Is God really listening to my prayers?
Lots of energy.
No, this isn't Wisteria Lane. And at first glance, you might wonder,
Before the bandsaw, this is what we used. Our turkey carving knife.
just what's going on over at Jim and Bonnie Scott's house.
And here's an arm that's halfway done.
You were praying, and then you started thinking?
I think that's what makes them come to life, is the eyes.
We're trying not to create scary characters.
With a looming deadline,
You need to be learning your lines.
There is a lot of work.
Stay in character. Instead of a, what was that? They'll go, whoa, look at that. These are not meant to be criticism. We're just fine-tuning things a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely crunch time.
you may find a desperate housewife here.
I could not sew anything.
It's a place where misery
I've taken the needle right through my fingers several times.
Loves ministry.
God lets us do a lot of amazing things, that's for sure.
It's designed to reach those that sometimes you may consider unreachable.
They fellowship through fantasy.
They don't have a soul. The musical note puppet, they're not real. Little French fry puppet.
Puppets take up most of my free time.
So, like mad scientists, it's back to work for Jim and Bonnie.
You sew one day, you glue one day, and then you put together the next day.
My hands are so sticky.
Like an assembly line.
I make several at a time.
With a cast of more than 30 puppeteers, they pray.
As we join hands, we are indeed one.
Practice.
Let's kind of get you to your spots. Stay in character. Be sure to get your lines to her when you're talking to her. Be sure to get your lines to her.
And manufacture puppets for the pulpit.
We're able to use our spare time to give something back.
And for the past 23 years, they have given back, sewing their faith into the fabric and foam.
Really, the bottom line is recognizing that it isn't really about the short term that we've got really with this earth in our lives, but the eternity that we're going to be spending with God.
Their passion for puppets has evolved into a full-time ministry at Old Bethel United Methodist Church.
The rubber stuff, this rib section has to go right here.
We've got tonight to assemble this platform.
A little bit this way.
Scripture and screws help to bind the set together, based on a foundation made of prayer.
It's been a long haul to do a lot of things in a short amount of time.
Jim believes in the power of prayer.
This is all God now. Home stretch, we're ready to go. Stand by, please. Here we go. Ready and roll. Okay, bring Megan out.
And Daddy, and Bobby, and my dog.
The group had only a month to work on this play.
All the prayers go to God. We just help out with the sorting process.
Here, check out our motto.
Billions saved, billions served.
A project that usually requires at least 8 weeks to complete.
Brittany needs to be a little taller for Brittany. I guess what really impresses me is the gift and talent that each kid brings with them to the stage.
And the end product is always something that's amazes me. A lot of the rewards I see is in the faces of the kids.
I'm just thankful to be a part of it. It's all about prayer.
With David Hodge, I'm Tom Cochran. 24-hour News 8.
This is going to be one heck of a game.
We're going to get it on today. War. It's only one word, war.
We got a whole lot of payback to do.
3, 4, 6. They're going to see quality football. They're going to see good hitting. They're going to see guys that are coached well.
Come on, come on, come on. Always serious business on the field. You know, that's what it really comes down to. You know, so who's going to run the city?
Big game today, big game today. They're out here to execute and carry over what they had in college and high school.
I need everybody 150%. 150%. Canes on 3. 1, 2, 3. Canes!
We all warriors. We all grown men, and none of us like to lose.
One of the things the head coach wanted to do when he brought me into this was he wanted to give guys an opportunity to get to the next level.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Let's go.
There's no contract. We're not playing in the most lavish stadiums, as you can see. We're actually playing on the high school field.
Oh, there you go, there you go, there you go. That's what we need, more big plays.
We got guys that have the same heart as most of the NFL players have. They just want to play football. We've actually had a couple of guys that's been in the semi-pro league for like 9 years.
To be out here playing after 30, you gotta have a few bolts that ain't quite so tightened down. When you hang up the cleats, I don't walk so good anymore, but I still run good. So when I stop running good, maybe.
Today, no, we going in. Some times, guys are in denial. They will not hang up their cleats. They 30s, 40s, they still feel like they got it because they love the game. They love the game so much. They just in denial. They won't give it up.
You play it from the heart. You play the game from the heart. It's always.
You look at the talent level, you know, and the skill level, you know, it's a lot of good football.
The love for the game, really. You know, we out here not getting paid, so really the love of the game. Sitting home watching the coast every week, you know what I'm saying? You get that feeling like you need to be out there, so that's really what got me back out here.
You're going to see good football. I think the only thing that it slacks off from all the other leagues is you don't see the discipline that it takes, but the one thing that we all are trying to do is bring the discipline here so you can see some of the nice athletes that are out here playing.
Together we stand! Together we stand! Divided we fall! Divided we fall! Kings on 3! 1, 2, 3, yeah!
It's not a throw a car together and go. We spend some time on these cars.
You can buy used cars for a couple $100 and come out here and be competitive.
It's just something you can do to get your wheels so that they run a little faster.
Very competitive. Some people do take it lightly, but some people, like us, we take a little bit more serious.
We swap 2 wheels. Both cars will go up and race. They'll come back down, and they'll swap all 4 wheels and swap lanes and race again, and then the total differential will determine the winner for this heat. We're about to weigh the cars. In this division, the car and the driver are allowed to weigh 250 pounds. Still?
It takes a lot of talent and takes a lot of years of racing to get everything right.
Here they come.
They definitely need athletic ability, but it's a sport for every child.
As they approach the finish line, it's very close.
Wilbur Shaw and Tony Holman got together and built this hill.
Steering wheel straight. Okay, now keep your head down.
1, 2, 3.
All it comes down to the driver in the end. The drivers win races and lose races, not cars.
Get over there. Right there.
Usually, if you can just relax yourself in the car, not rush anything, don't try too hard, it's a lot easier to know your line.
It's Jimmy in 1, Brian in 2.
These races are won by thousandths of a second.
Over, go!
Go, 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 go!
The girls have the same opportunity to compete that the boys do, so it's wonderful.
Good luck, Anna.
Thanks.
Ready on 2.
Ready on 2.
Come on, go.
Parents really get as much kick out of it as the kids.
Joy, pleasure. It is a family affair.
It's very enjoyable. And it's a little bit of work, but it's mostly fun.
Any kid will enjoy this. It is absolutely fun.
It's such a big tradition in our school.
Wednesday already. I was nervous, but last night I slept good.
It's basically an all-year training event.
Being out here on the track and everything, it's one of the most exhilarating experiences you'll ever have.
Gentlemen, mount your Little 5 Mongoose bicycles.
What Little 5 is all about is teamwork.
We're a big Cinderella team, so, you know, if we want it just add even more since we're Cinderellas. But hey, it's Little 5, anything can happen.
67 laps have now been scored. One!
Man, he's dying out there.
Hang in there, Mark!
It's very intense. You're just behind a bunch of guys moving, you're about an inch away. And if a wreck does happen, it's over in an instant.
But your leader has about a 42-second lead.
Your name's on the trophy forever, so it's a big thing.
It's a lot of hard work coming into one day. To win this would be, you couldn't put it in words. You just about couldn't describe it. It'd be more than a guy could stand.
It was amazing. It was like a dream. It just came true, man.
It was a major event whenever there was a ball club and a ball team at the stadium.
You can see these lights at a certain point on the west side.
It became, a West Side institution.
When I walk in here, I can see certain individuals that were sitting in the stands.
The home dugout was here. The home dugout was there. Joe Louis was in the stands and it was announced. I left the dugout, came right over here, spoke to Joe Louis and asked for an autograph. Biggest disappointment in my life at the time, he refused to sign an autograph for me. But I met the famous Brown Bomber right here on this spot. So again, for me, this is hallowed ground. Right down this first baseline, that on more than one occasion I saw Jesse Owens actually compete against a racehorse.
It was about entertaining the black community. The ladies would have on the big hats and the shawls and everything. It was a gala affair. This is what's left of Bush Victory Field. Weeds.
Weeds mixed in with childhood memories.
All of our experiences affect all of us differently. And then, of course, obviously, you came to Victory Field and tried to get in, legitimately or otherwise.
But this wall here, many a kid from the west side has climbed over this wall to see a baseball game. Me being only maybe about 4 foot tall, I could not climb this wall. And they would have to boost me up. Everybody would help everybody but me. It's not the whirling wall, but it's the climbing wall.
Eventually, lifelong friends Ludwig Johnson and Clifford Robinson would find an easier way into the ballpark. Once inside, they were faced with yet another barrier, one not lined with ivy, but with hatred and racism.
I don't think that I ever thought about being discriminated against. Obviously, I was living in a discriminated environment, but it was a way of life.
For the land of the free. The home team and the opposing team lockered together.
In Cincinnati, in the stadium in Crosby Field, they wouldn't permit them to use either dressing room. They had to either dress at the hotel or on the team bus.
They were guys who loved the game, and they could play the game.
I owe my life to them, you know. They set the way for us to come out here and put this uniform every day and participate.
Play ball! 35 to 40% of the Negro baseball players were Cubans.
They set a tone for us to come to the state and show us the game, how it needs to be played, and how much you have to go through to be able to make it in this business.
Every time I come to the ballpark, I think about those days, and I look, and I just can't see how anyone could have heaped the infamy on our fellow Americans, which those black players certainly were.
Ludwig and Clifford's field of dreams finally came true. They made it into the ballpark by becoming batboys with the Indianapolis Clowns in a league of their own.
You'd run out, pick up the bat, bring it back. I mean, this was glory. This was glory. Every boy who wanted to be a bat boy knew who you were because you had the job. No question about that.
A lot of envy, huh?
A lot of envy.
Every crack of a bat, every strike, I mean, they were just, and the Clowns, they loved the Indianapolis Clowns.
A team known for its on-field antics.
And the catcher would have the ball, and the guy who was coming down third base would point up in the air, and he would slide right up under him, and everybody would get a kick out of that. They knew they couldn't play in the majors, you know, but they knew that they could play baseball.
This was big time.
And the Negro Leagues were filled with big-time players like Josh Gibson, the Black Sultan of Swing, Jackie Robinson, the first player to make it into the white major leagues, and...
Once you've seen him, you always know that was Satchel Paige. So Satch cleared the field, and believe it or not, it was no put on. He struck the guy out. No defense. He was the only defense. And it was just, the crowd would go bananas. I mean, Satch did it again.
I know for a fact that they walked away entertained. No question about that. And they walked away knowing that there were great baseball players who happened to be of color.
I can even see myself out there. So excited.
That's why they call it America's pastime, my personal opinion, but you know, it's where you can come to the field and watch whites and blacks play together without any animosity or anything, and you know, it's a great game.
Those were the days, Lud.